there's been this thing that's been kind of weighing heavy on me lately, or from time to time, off and on. And it's the world around us, man. Not only is the world around us changing, it's changed. Especially for us guys that are into old school cars, muscle cars, classic cars, whatever. I just went to Pep Boys to try to get a freaking fan spacer for, that's 1.5 inches thick. And first I went to O'Reilly's, and they had 2 fan spacers. So first I'm wandering around the hallway, and the guy behind the counter asks if he can help me find something. I told him I need fan spacers. He goes, "Oh, they're back here behind the counter." So I go, "I need 1.5 inches." He had a 1 inch and a 2 inch. 2 spacers. There's not even multiples of 1 inch and 2 inch. 1 inch and 1 2 inch fan spacer. That's it. So I was like, well, last time I was at Pep Boys has got a pretty big shop, pretty big selection. They even got like a speed shop section, right? It's about 3 aisles or so of high performance stuff, old school stuff. I walk in and it's like, holy crap, it's completely different. They put a wall down the middle of the store, and so the service side, which I think they just do tires and stuff like that, that side is Pep Boys, and the parts store side is Advanced Auto Parts now. And they completely changed the layout of the place. There is no high performance section, there's no speed shop section, there's no old school parts. I asked for fan spacers, they don't even have any. You'd have to order them. So it's a little disheartening, man. I mean, the reality is that it feels like we're being phased out. Our shit is being phased out. Our cars, our lifestyle, our religion, phased out. And we're just holding on by a thread, We still got Summit, we still got Jigs, and now it's like that's the only place you can get the parts you need, on a grand scale. And then for us Mopar guys, we've got like Mancini Racing, Mazzolini Racing. There's a few others that are online and stuff, but it's like that you have to go online. There's a speed shop in Riverside, but of course for a Mopar guy, very limited on Mopar parts. You might be able to get an intake manifold. That's probably about it. Everything else is Chevrolet, a few Ford things, and hardly nothing Mopar. So what does this all mean? I don't know. I don't know what it means. It kind of feels like we're running out of time. You know what I mean? Like our days are numbered. We are becoming obsolete. We are phasing out. It's sad because, like when I'm gone, what's going to happen to my cars? Is there going to be somebody there that appreciates them, loves them? Is some jackass going to rip out the 440 and put an electric motor in it or something like that? You know what I mean? That would suck. That would devastate me. I guess I'm not alive. I wouldn't be alive, so I wouldn't care. But the whole thought is kind of frightening to me. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I guess I'm old enough where I've seen a lot of change over the years. And, man, everything's different. And, man, nothing is as good as it used to be. On so many fronts, Cars aren't cheap. You don't knock on a door and ask if you can buy that car in the backyard for $100 anymore, They're very expensive. You got to pull money out of your equity out of your house to buy a really nice finished car. We're running out of time, guys. I don't know how much time we got. I don't know how much longer it'll last. but the trajectory is not looking good, you know. For all I know, we might have another 30 years, 50 years, 100 years. I don't know, but I can tell you, in the last 30 years, huge change. Huge change. You know, there was a time when you could go to super shops or a mom and pop speed shop in your town where you lived. You didn't call someplace and order it somewhere, you know, have it shipped to your door. You went there and you bought it. Even shit like the fuel, like here in California, the fuel here sucks. It is terrible on carburetors. You know, it seems like they're always coming out with some new formulation, and then they've got the summer formulation and the winter formulation they use as an excuse to charge more money. Oh, we're going to the summer formulation, we got to charge more money for it. We're going back to the winter formulation, got to charge more money for it. Not to mention inflation and bullshit going on in Ukraine, you know. Freaking insane. Yeah, so I think the lesson here is the only thing you have is now, is the moment. Whatever that moment is, you know, you've been there. We've all been there. You're whatever it is, you know, you're at a party or you're at an event. You're at something very spectacular and important, you know, and everything leading up to that event doesn't matter, and everything after that event doesn't really matter. But when you're there and in that moment, you know and recognize how special it is, and you could kind of just like let go of everything in your life and just savor that moment. Like, that's what you have to do, is you have to live every day like that. Like, we may not have much more time. So if you got that project car, you're working on it, and you think you got lots of time, and you can just push it off till tomorrow, maybe not. Maybe not, because the whole world changes. The whole world changes. And it might just change enough where, you know, the things that you love and enjoy don't fit in that new world anymore. And I'm not saying I'm okay with it, and I'm not saying, you know, to give into it. What I'm saying is, you may not have a choice. It may turn so sideways or upside down or expensive that you cannot choose to do that at a later time, or choose to do it despite everything that's going on, you know. You just don't know. And honestly, young guys getting into this hobby right now, they didn't have the choices we had 20, 30 years ago, you know, where cars were plentiful, cars weren't as rusty, you know, cars weren't as expensive. You could go into a freaking AutoZone or O'Reilly's and choose one of 20 different fan blade spacers, you know. Those choices are not there anymore. So, man, make it a priority. Get out there, get on your project, spin some wrenches, get it running, enjoy it before it's too late.